The story I'm going to tell you is not my own. It is from another apostate who wanted to share his story, but due to personal safety reasons, he couldn't share it with his own voice. So, with his permission, I'm going to tell you guys his story. Hey everyone, my name is Apostate Ahmed. Today, I want to tell you about one of the most profound, painful, and unexpected journeys of my life. This isn't an easy story for me to tell. For most of my life, I wasn't particularly religious. I believed in Islam culturally, but I wasn't deeply practicing. What I was deeply interested in was geopolitics. I spent a lot of time watching political content, analyzing conflicts, and trying to understand what was happening in the world. Eventually, I became heavily influenced by online red pill content and personalities. I began viewing the world through an increasingly conspirational lens. I started believing that society was controlled by hidden forces and that powerful groups were working against Islam. Then I would see reports of Muslims being killed, oppressed, or persecuted in places such as Palestine, India, and elsewhere. I became extremely angry. I began seeing the world as struggle between good and evil, Muslims against their enemies, believers against unbelievers. That mindset made me hostile towards people I believed were responsible. At my worst, I developed violent thoughts and wanted revenge. Then, quite suddenly, my life changed. About a year later, I became intensely religious. I became what I would describe as a fundamentalist Islamist Muslim. And I want to be clear, I wasn't pretending. My family never pressured me to become deeply religious. I wasn't doing it for appearances. I genuinely believed it. Islam became the center of my life. I prayed 5 times a day. I cried when asking Allah for guidance. I thought about my sins, my future, and my relationship with Allah. More than anything, I wanted certainty. I wanted to know the truth. At this stage, I wasn't looking for reasons to leave Islam. I was looking for reasons to believe it more deeply. I wanted my entire life to align with the religion. I truly believed at the time I discovered the ultimate truth. I began studying Islam seriously. I discovered different theological debates, schools of thoughts, sects, and radically different interpretation of Islamic history and law. Because I was already interested in conflict and geopolitics, one subject captured my attention in particular: jihad. I began researching it obsessively. Unfortunately, the deeper I went, the more radical my interpretations became. I started believing that contemporary Muslim scholars were presenting a softened or sanitized version of Islam. I became suspicious of scholars such as Mufti Menk. I thought they were hiding important parts of the religion. So I went further back. I looked for classical scholarship and older interpretations. I wanted to understand how these issues had been understood before modern social values influenced the discussion. I accepted highly rigid views about issues such as interest, sexuality, feminism, LGBTQ plus people, democracy, and Islamic governance. My worldview became increasingly black and white. I believed that society should be governed according to divine law rather than human legislations. I studied classical scholars and interpreted their writings as confirmation of the beliefs I was developing. But now I recognize an important pattern in my thinking. I was no longer simply asking what is true. I was increasingly asking, how can I prove what I already believe? At the time, I couldn't see the difference. I started seeing mainstream scholars as evidence that they were afraid to acknowledge the implications of their own text. I listened to extremist lectures and immersed myself in their ideological framework. I began seeing myself as someone who understood the real version of Islam better than the ordinary Muslim. Then my thinking went even further. Eventually, I became an ISIS supporter. At this point, I even regarded Al Qaeda as apostates. I convinced myself that ISIS represented the most authentic form of Islam. I watched propaganda, lectures, and execution videos. I consumed their arguments and absorbed their worldview. For approximately 6 months, I genuinely supported ISIS. I wanted to join them, and I was willing to risk my life for what I believe was the cause of God. I also adopted extremist justification for terrorism and violence. I viewed attacks that I now understand as horrific crimes through the distorted lens of jihadist ideology. I even admired Osama bin Laden. That was genuinely the person I had become. I'm not sharing this to glorify those beliefs or to repeat their propaganda. I'm sharing it because radicalization is real and because I want to be honest about how far I went. At that time, I sincerely believed I have found the purest form of Islam. But here's the thing, despite how extreme my beliefs had become, I still considered myself a truth seeker. My principles were simple. If Christianity is true, I should become a Christian. If another religion is true, I should become that religion. And if Islam is false, I would leave Islam. So I began looking even more into Islamic sects, including Shia theology and criticism of Sunni Islam. That was when I started noticing a pattern. Every sect seemed to have its own system for explaining different evidence. When information challenged a group's theology, that group often had a way to reinterpret it, weaken it, or place it into a broader framework that protected its existing conclusion. This made me ask questions I had never seriously considered before. How do I know which sect is correct? What would actually convince me that I was wrong? The last question stayed with me. Then I encountered ex Muslim content. Honestly, I was terrified at first. I wasn't prepared to hear serious criticism of Islam. Sometimes I would stop a video and tell myself that it was all propaganda designed to attack the religion. Looking back, I think the reason was obvious. I just wanted Islam to be true. So when I encountered criticism, my first instinct wasn't curiosity, it was self defense. I wanted reassurance. But two subjects became especially difficult for me: slavery and child marriage. Only months earlier, I had been defending these issues. I had arguments and theological explanations for them. But then I became asking questions I could no longer escape. For example, how could an enslaved woman freely consent to a sexual relationship with someone who had conquered her community or killed members of her family? Then I began researching the traditional accounts of Aisha's age. The explanation I had previously accepted was that such marriages were normal for the historical period and that reaching puberty resolved the moral issue. But the more I studied child development and the consequences of child marriage, the less convincing that explanation became. Eventually, I reached a point where I could no longer defend it honestly. That was devastating. Even after my faith began collapsing, I didn't believe immediately. I told myself that criticism might be propaganda. Maybe it was designed to destroy Islam. I kept searching for ways to hold on. Letting go meant facing the possibility that I built my entire life around something that might never have been true. But doubt doesn't disappear simply because we want it to. It remains, it grows, it accumulates. I could no longer ignore the questions and live as though nothing had changed. Another major reason I continued to believe was the idea of scientific miracles in the Qur'an. I've been told that Qur'an contained extraordinary knowledge about the Big Bang, embryology, and other scientific subjects. Those arguments had once strengthened my faith massively, but when I studied those claims more carefully, I began seeing selective interpretation, confirmation bias, and retrospective readings. I also realized that similar scientific miracles could be found in other religious scriptures in the same interpretive method that was used. If the same method can be used to validate multiple contradictory religions, perhaps the issue isn't that every religion contains supernatural scientific information. Perhaps the issue is the method itself. For the first time, I recognized how confirmation bias could operate inside my worldview. I have spent years asking, how can I defend Islam? That realization changed everything. There wasn't a cinematic moment where I suddenly became an atheist. It was much quieter than that. It felt like watching a massive structure collapse one brick at a time. First came uncertainty, then questions, then contradictions, then fear. Eventually, I realized that I could no longer force myself to believe something simply because I desperately wanted it to be true. The person who once prayed 5 times a day That person eventually reached a point where he could no longer say, I know this is true. Leaving Islam wasn't simply changing an opinion. It meant accepting that I could be sincere, devoted, and still deeply mistaken. That was one of the hardest things I ever had to accept. Leaving Islam didn't make me certain about everything. It made me honest about what I could and could not justify believing. I didn't leave because I wanted to rebel, and I certainly didn't leave because I had never taken Islam seriously. Sometimes the most painful thing isn't discovering that you were wrong, it was discovering that you were sincerely wrong. And sometimes intellectual honesty means having the courage to let go of something you once loved, even when every part of you wants to keep on holding. And this is my journey. This is how I left Islam. Thank you for listening. If you're going through a similar journey, you're not alone. And if you disagree with me, I hope we can still discuss these issues without hatred or dehumanization.